From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Furniture and Mattress 86 is stocked with mattresses. Mattresses starting at $149. Try our 120-night trial. Mattresses come with a 20-year warranty. Up to 72 months, 0 interest. Free local delivery and pickup. Furniture and Mattress 86 on Merchant Avenue across from the post office in Reading. If you find it for less, you should buy it.
Good morning, everyone. You may have noticed over the last few days, temperatures have been trending downward just a little bit here, but overall, we're just going to continue with this summer-like heat. It'll continue the rest of this week, this weekend, and even through at least the middle of next week. Now, we're looking at improving conditions when we're talking about that fire weather risk. That is good news. Winds are dying down. Still dry, still hot, but at least the winds are beginning to show signs of getting weaker. We're also talking about the chance for mountain thunderstorms. Now, this is something I've been talking about all week long. As we get closer to the weekend, we're starting to see that potential stay fairly consistent. And it looks like the time frame is mainly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And, little variances in there depending on where you are in the mountains. The valley will remain dry. I am seeing some signs of convection today, tomorrow, and even Saturday. But overall, I think most of it will be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Then we're talking about a cooling trend. But it's going to be hard to see even on the 7-day forecast because it's really not until the end of next week that we may see that potential of cooler weather. More on all of that in our deeper dive forecast, but let's get you through your Krueger's Quickcast here real quickly here. And this will just get you out the door, know what to expect here for today. And, it's going to be pretty mild out there. Low 70s in the valley, 50s, even some 60s for the higher elevations. So we still have this broad ridge of high pressure. That's been the main story here for us this week. As that high pressure shifts to the east, we're going to be looking at that warmer weather moving in, and temperatures will increase after today. So still a bit breezy on the west side of the valley here, but you'll notice as we go through the afternoon, now we're talking 10, maybe 15 mile an hour gusts. So that's going to be the extent of it for today. So much calmer winds this afternoon. Still a bit breezy though, as you can see along the coast and even in parts of the eastern mountains. But look at tomorrow morning. Now we're seeing, basically below 10 miles per hour. That little anomaly there, but that might even be overdoing it. And you can see even for the coast and higher elevations, looking pretty good. So let's take a look at Futurecast. Now, I do think we may see some afternoon clearing here along Humboldt County here, but then that will probably start to redevelop by the afternoon and especially this evening and tonight. Meanwhile, we're seeing the afternoon convection in the mountains, mainly in the form of just some afternoon puffy cumulus clouds that we typically see in the summer. Now, we'll also, Futurecast is picking up on some shower and even thunderstorm activity. This model sometimes tends to overdo it when it comes to that convective activity here. So I would say, yes, maybe there's a chance for a stray shower, but I don't anticipate any thunderstorms at this point. Then you can see that fog really redeveloping again here for tonight and tomorrow morning, and of course clearing out everywhere else. So, this doesn't look that bad, does it? Low 90s south in the valley to the north, around 95 for Reading. We're mainly in the 80s to the north and east of the valley, but still right around the low 90s here for Trinity County and the inland areas, and we're looking at temperatures same story, low to mid 60s for those daytime highs. So there you can see also a little bit of cloud cover, but still probably more sunshine for places like Crescent City and Klamath, for example. So here is your 7-day outlook. We're keeping it base after today. We're keeping it around 100 degrees or higher through next Wednesday. Pretty much the same situation for Red Bluff and Chico, mainly in the upper 90s. Now for the coast, mid 60s, give or take. Now we do have the inland areas kind of creeping back up again with those temperatures, and I've included a chance at least for an afternoon thunderstorm for places in Trinity County, especially to the north on Sunday, Monday. Chances for thunderstorms in Siskiyou County for Sunday, Monday, and for Modoc County Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, as well as the eastern mountains. Now, as I mentioned, there is, that potential for a little bit of convective activity for some of the eastern mountains here for today, tomorrow, and maybe even Saturday, but overall, again, those best chances look to be on Sunday through at least Tuesday of next week. Okay, so that is a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. If that's all you need, hey, have a great day. If not, you want to stick around for the deeper dive, let's do that. But first, hey, there's a free Weather NorCal app. Here's all I'm going to say about it. Go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, download the app for free. Check it out. You don't like it, take it off your phone, bottom line. But I would like to say this, one more thing. It is locally generated. That is, I put the forecast into the app. It's not 100% AI generated, folks. It's got some local flair, and that is from the experience of 25 plus years as a meteorologist here in Northern California. Ridge of high pressure, that's what I've been talking about here all week long, and we're going to be continuing to talk about that over the next several days. Here's a look at your fire weather forecast. As mentioned, those winds still a little breezy on the west side of the valley this morning. They're subsiding by the afternoon. Great news. Winds continue to stay fairly calm, if you will. I mean, yeah, we're seeing gusts around 10, 15 miles per hour Friday afternoon from the south, by the way, in the valley. And then Saturday morning, you're looking at calm winds, and that'll continue as we go into Saturday afternoon as well. So that fire weather risk, you see this little area of yellow here, that's that low to moderate. That's just because, again, it's a little breezy on the west side of the valley this morning. But by the afternoon, the humidity levels begin to drop. On average, about 10% in the valley. Moderate fire risk, really low to moderate, and low to moderate to the north and east of the valley as well. Taking you into your Friday morning, we're still seeing some decent relative humidity recovery, but still pretty dry. I mean, upper 20% range here for the valley, and going into that moderate and kind of trying to get into the high range here. So as the temperatures start to increase a bit more, we may see that fire weather risk begin to increase, but generally staying below that high risk. And then taking you into your Saturday, midday, we're low to moderate around midday, maybe increasing a little bit in the afternoon, but you get the idea. We're not seeing a lot of oranges on the map or even reds, indicating that the fire weather risk is better. We're seeing improving conditions. However, again, we can never let our guards down as we are pretty much in that fire season. So you can see that fog here this morning. It tries to burn off. You can see it does, especially pulls away from the Highway 101 corridor, but then it comes back later this evening. There's the afternoon convection I was talking about. Don't anticipate any thunderstorms, but maybe, just maybe, a stray shower in parts of Lassen and Plumas counties. For tomorrow morning, there's that fog along the coast. It's trying to make its way into Crescent City, but having a hard time. Otherwise, clear skies tomorrow morning for the rest of us. There's the afternoon convection that we're seeing. And you see how it's showing those thunderstorms that we've seen over the Sierra just creeping northward. And it's showing a little bit of activity in Trinity County. Probably not going to happen, but we are seeing more clouds in the mountains here for your Friday afternoon. Friday night, there it is. We're fog all up and down the coast here, anywhere you are, and it looks like we've got clear skies elsewhere. And then this only takes us to about noon, but you start to see some of the clouds begin to develop. Mainly dry, though, with partly cloudy skies in the mountains by Saturday afternoon. Now we take a look at the longer range. Now, this is something I've been seeing since Monday, right? I've been seeing this potential. There's been a lot of consistency in what we're seeing here. Sunday, chance for mountain thunderstorms. Monday, right, Monday afternoon, chance for mountain thunderstorms. Tuesday afternoon, same situation, chance for mountain thunderstorms. And then as we go into your Wednesday, Thursday, that moves on out. And we're not seeing any more chances for thunderstorms. It just dries out, and it also starts to cool off a little bit. All right, so let's talk about that. All right, so here's the ridge of high pressure. That's been our feature that I've been talking about all week long. It's responsible for the heat we've been experiencing, but we've seen this little cooler air kind of ride to our north. That's allowing our temperatures to drop a little bit here for today. All right, we've been watching this temperature slowly dropping. Now, as we go into Friday and into through the weekend, you see how the center of that ridge, see how now we have the main ridge right on top of us. This is when temperatures will start to increase again. All right, so we've been watching the temperature slowly drop. Now they're going back up. Most likely over 100 degrees in most cases for the valley at least. Pretty strong ridge, right? And then that shifts back off to the east as we go into early next week. And this right here, it's been showing signs, and forecast models have been going back and forth on just how far south this cooler air moves in. Obviously, the cooler, the farther south it comes, the cooler it gets. So we'll have to watch that. But bottom line, I'm still seeing some fairly good consistency in all of the long-range forecast models that we are going to be nudging that heat off to the east, suppressing the heat, and temperatures drop as a result. But when we look at the 7-day forecast, you're really not going to see that on the trend until we get into day 8, day 9, day 10, as that cooler air squashes that heat. And you'll also notice now as we get closer to that longer range and that cooler air beginning to move in, what we're seeing is pushing the heat off to our east, and we're beginning to moderate our temperatures a little bit as well. So that certainly is that sign. So the 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, as we go through day 7, we're still in the triple digits, right? But then by the end of next week, into that next weekend, we're talking temperatures lower 90s and possibly even some upper 80s in some cases. Now, as we start getting out here, right, we can't really rely on this to be 100% accurate, but this is a trend I've been seeing here for quite a while, so looks pretty promising, but no guarantees as usual, right? All right, so there's a look at your lake levels. Healthy, healthy, healthy. We're at 100% capacity Lake Oroville, 93% capacity Lake Trinity Lake, and Shasta Lake about 91%. Wave height's still a bit high here for today, but you'll notice they are beginning to show signs of retreating over the next 24 hours, and that is good. We still have that small correct advisory through this afternoon with those north winds at 20 to 25 knots, and your waves from the northwest at 10 feet at 9 seconds. So here is your neighborhood forecast, starting off with Trinity County. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s to low 90s along the Highway 299 corridor. South of that, 80s and some 90s, 93 degrees for Hayfork. 73 out in Blue Lake. Look for a high of 62 in Eureka, 66 degrees in Rio Dell, and 85 for Garberville. Up north, about 90 degrees for Orleans, 93 degrees in Hoopa, 95 degrees for Willow Creek. Now notice I don't have any thunderstorms in the forecast. Okay, for the inland areas. That's because I think most of the activity will be east of you in Trinity County, Siskiyou County, but again, that's not until Sunday, Monday. Wairika, about 86, there it is, Sunday, Monday, chance for afternoon thunderstorms. Otherwise, after today, temperatures increasing, and then they start to drop again. We are seeing signs of it in the mountains, it looks like, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but the valley is going to be really kind of hard to see that. There you can see 81 degrees for Tule Lake, as well as El Turris, 79 degrees for Fort Bidwell. I'm keeping the chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon for Modoc County through Tuesday. 75 for Viola, 81 degrees in Chester, 84 Paradise, and 85 degrees in Susanville. And your valley neighborhood forecast, starting off with the south, we may struggle to get out of the 80s today. We're talking 90 degrees for Gridley, that is, 92 degrees for Corning and Elk Creek, about 91. No rain, no thunderstorms, nothing of that nature, just warmer temperatures, that is, going into the weekend and early next week. But then, we're starting to see that sign of temperatures at least dropping a little bit by the middle of next week. Taking a look up to the north, you can see 94 degrees for Cottonwood, 95 for Reading, 90 in Whiskeytown and Lakehead, and Red Bluff a high today of about 94 degrees. There's your 7-day forecast for Reading. And it's kind of hard to see, right? I mean, 101 to 100 on Tuesday to Wednesday, but really the peak of this next warming trend will be over the weekend. In fact, Sunday looks Monday with high of around, I can get that word out, high of around 104 degrees for Sunday and Monday. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon with the latest forecast. Have a great morning.